Ready to roll, guys. Hey, if you're just joining us, and I'm sorry about that, you're watching the Tony Robles Predator Pro-Am Tour. We're coming to you live from the Q Bar Billiards Lounge here in Bayside, Queens, New York. I'm Upstate Al, sitting alongside the one and only legendary Tony Robles. We're watching a match between these two great players, Ron Mason and Tony Iggy. His last name is Ignomirello or something. I can't pronounce it.
Yeah, it's Ignomirello.
So we call him Iggy for short. Yeah, Ignomirello. That's it. And the score right now, you can see, is 1-0 because Tony gets one game on the wire.
Wow, look at that. He overhit that one pretty bad. He's fortunate to not have scratched.
A lot of players have been overhitting him. I wonder if it's the speed here.
No, it's what's happening is that these tables run very slow. Oh, look, he jumped up on that one for sure.
Now he has to call the 9.
Yep.
That doesn't count, right?
That does not count.
So it just goes on the spot, no ball in hand?
Hold on one second. I think there's some confusion here. Oh, you already gave him the game? Gotcha.
Okay, so what happened there was Iggy said, go ahead, you can take it, Ron. So with that game there, we're tied at 1. We're racing to 7.
Go to the spot, right? You forgot. Oh, gotcha.
Little confusion there. Iggy thought the 9 was going to go in the opposite head spot, so he gave him the game.
Yep. So it's 1-1.
Yeah, we're tied at 1. Absolutely. Ron Mason breaking in game 3. Almost scratches. Makes the wing ball, and the one ball kind of dresses up. I'm not sure if he can quite see the one to make it.
Want to say hi to everyone in the chat room that's saying hi to us. We appreciate you tuning in. I know someone asked me which year did I play in the Mosconi Cup. I actually played 2 years in a row, 2003 and 2004. 2003 we played at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, and in 2004 we played in Holland. I actually flew out to Germany, and Thorsten Holman picked me up in the airport and spent a couple of days with his family, met his parents, and it was pretty cool. Germany's
nice
beautiful. Then he drove me up to Holland, and what a phenomenal event that was.
Everybody's saying that. That's if you're going to shoot under the pressure, that's where they'd be shooting out in Holland or anywhere over in Europe with that crowd behind their European team. I mean, they really get into it. I'd like to see more of that audience participation.
Yeah, I mean, when I played in 2004 in Holland, I've never played in front of such a hostile crowd. I mean, Al, that's an understatement. They have those big horns that they use in the soccer games.
Yeah.
Like that, you have no idea.
You're getting sound effects from Tony Robles, and let me tell you, that's pretty close.
Yeah, so it was awesome, though, because in 2003, when we were like tied with Europe at the MGM Grand, I looked at the European side, or the stands of fans, and I said, man, I have to go there and say something to them. And I went there and I sat down and I started speaking to about 7 of them, and I said, you have no idea how much I admire the fact that you guys were willing to all fly down from Europe to support your team here. I really respect that.
Yeah, sure.
And we spoke for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. When I went to the Mosconi Cup in Holland the following year, I could not believe this. I was the only American player that whenever they announced, they actually clapped for. Everyone else, they were booing.
Well, you're a very well.
It's like I said,
you're a very
whoa,
well
I said,
guy.
this is not normal, man.
Well, you know what? Give us a little bit of insight onto the team members that were on that Mosconi. You had Rodney Morris, wasn't Rodney?
We had Rodney, we had Earl, we had Jeremy Jones.
Okay, that's a strong team. Corey, right?
Yeah, and we had Nick Varner as a captain and Kim Davenport as a co-captain, and Johnny Archer.
That's pretty strong.
Oh, yeah.
That's a strong team. Well, what do you think about the new Mosconi picks that they're coming up with the young guns and changing?
Well, I mean, I think they couldn't have picked anyone better than Mark Wilson. Mark Wilson is one of the greatest instructors in the history of the game, in my opinion, along with Jerry Bryseth. And he was Jerry Bryseth's, student. So he learned from the best. And I have so much admiration for both of them. I have so much respect. And Mark is going to do a phenomenal job. They say it's a 5-year plan, and I think it's a very smart plan. And, you know, I hate to say this, but I've been saying this for quite a number of years. The American players are not as dedicated as they used to be to their craft. You know, and it's simply because sometimes life gets in the way. Some of them have families now. You know, they have relationships, they have jobs. It's tough to keep in stroke if there's nothing to look forward to. You see,
Right.
whereas you have the Taiwanese, you have the Europeans, all they do is work on their game. And if you make pool number one, there's a good chance you're going to become number one. You know, and you're going to end up reaching that upper echelon level of play that very few players attain.
Right. Well, you know what? I think, but it also has to do with the earning. You know, you become a professional pool player in Europe. You could make a livelihood out of it, and a good livelihood out of it. I mean, the sponsorship is tremendous. For some reason or another, we don't have that here in the States when we have the major companies here.
There's no pro tour in the United States. It's pretty much dead.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Magic Scotty here is asking me about a World Cup of pool. I'm pretty sure that Matchroom Sports has that already.
World Cup of Pool, yes, I heard.
Yeah, I think they do. I think, but it's the team, the doubles. You know, with Shane and Earl
they had
represented
Mike
the
DeShane.
United States.
They were dressed up in red, white, and blue. I remember that. In fact, they looked like Uncle Sam, Mike DeShane and Corey Deuel when they went out to the World Cup of Pool.
Yeah, I remember that. But I think that if I mean, me personally, everyone has a different way of doing things. If I did a World Cup of Pool, I'd make sure that I would have more than just 2 players. You know, maybe kind of have a little variety there where you can choose these 2 players or you can choose those 2 players, you know.
Well, you know, now they're thinking about bringing the young guns in. You
Yeah.
know, they're thinking about bringing the young guns in, and I think it's a change. I think they're going to step up to the plate, but, you know, like you said, they're going to be under a lot of heat.
They're going to be under a lot of heat. I can honestly tell you, as someone that played in Mosconi Cup twice, I never felt so much pressure in my life, in my career, ever as a pro player, but I got a rush from it. You know, and when I had to win my match against Mika Immonen in 2003 at the MGM Grand to put us on the hill, I did it.
Good.
I did it, and it was
and
amazing.
nothing personal against Mika. I mean,
Mika's like my brother.
Yeah,
he knows that.
It's just a competition factor. Yeah, just when it's a game, the business, it's like a business. The game's on. So now you got Sky Woodward coming in, really young player, very talented.
Very good kid too. I had a conversation with him at the Expo.
Yeah, so did I.
You know, his mind is right. Good head on his shoulders, and very focused. Very, very focused.
Yeah. 21 years old? 21 years old?
Yeah, I mean, you know, there was this one kid. I'm trying to remember his name. I think it was Austin, but I can't remember the last name, who played in the IPT. He was the youngest kid to ever play on a pro tour at that time. And he played phenomenal. He beat a couple of the players. But sometimes people fail to realize that he's just a kid, because he went and he beat one of the top names at an IPT event. I can't remember right off the top of my head. I can't remember who it was.
Right.
But then after he beat that top player, I go outside to the room, and they had laptops for all the players, you know. And I look at the laptop, he's playing video games.
Yeah. Well.
You know, and I said,
you know what?
He went back to being a kid after being a top player. How strong
Some
is
people
that?
got to go find a practice table and hit balls for a few hours in between their matches. But, you know, when you're a youngster like that, that's the kind of relaxation they need.
That's right. This Jameson is correct.
Jameson knew. That's the world trick shot artist that was down there in SBE.
But he's right. It's Austin Murphy. That's who it was. Thank you for that.
That's Jameson New from Florida. He's been on the road for almost 35, 36 days. In fact, he was up at the Heroes of Hearts Foundation, did some trick shots. He was on the news. They did a news interview with him.
Well, thank you for doing that.
Yeah, and now he's back home, and now on the 23rd, he'll be heading out towards the West Coast. He's on his way out to Vegas area or something. He's always on the road promoting pool.
Well, anyone that goes out there and tries to do a lot of positive things for our sport, you know, has to be respected. Doesn't matter what level you play.
Well, you know what, Tony? You mentioned when you were at the Moscone Cup that a lot of the players didn't get the applause that you get. And there's reasons behind it. It's not because that they just picked your name out of a hat. It's because the way you handle yourself. You know, all the years that I've known you, and all the years I could probably speak for 99.999% of the people out there, you've always been very respectful. You always been very quiet and been in your seat when your opponent's shooting. You never pull any moves. And you're a gentleman, Jim, so they recognize that. You know, the pool world is small.
And just so you know, whenever Al talks like this, he's really speaking about himself. So
no, listen.
Just to let everyone know.
Listen,
but I do appreciate that.
I don't
Al.
talk this way because you're sitting here. I talk this way when you're not sitting here, too.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. But I'm just trying to represent the sport in a positive light because I've been saying this for as long as I can remember. The movie The Hustler pretty much took pool back to the Stone Ages, and it's been stuck there since then. And I think that it's our responsibility to try to get it out of that.
I like the way you say we. You're absolutely right. It's a big team effort.
You know, Magic Scotty's asking about the two Moscone Cup teams. We actually won both years. We won in 2003 and 2004. So it was very special. It really was, and it was an amazing feeling to represent your country like that and come out victorious. And that's what they're trying to do together, getting back to what you said about Mark Wilson. He's really trying very hard, and it's a 5-year plan. And I think that he's on the right track because he's going to be extremely strict with these new players. And if he's picking, oh, wow, look at that 9-ball miss. I had to stop talking after that. That was a shocker there. But you see how badly he jumped up on that 9-ball?
Yeah, he didn't feel confident even when he got down. He should have took his time a little bit more, get real comfortable. As Ron Mason's about to pocket this 9-ball and go up 3-2 in this set. We're racing to 7, folks. Once again, we're coming to you live from this place, the Q Bar. We'll be back here tomorrow with the Open Pros. If you got time to stop by Northern Boulevard and Bell Boulevard, or Northern Boulevard and Bell, right?
Northern Boulevard and Bell Boulevard.
There you go.
Prime location. It's a fantastic room. It's very. I mean,
take a look at this picture.
Plenty of room.
Here's a picture I took at a place when I first walked in. That's the atmosphere. Wide open, really nice bar.
And we have the NAPO here on Monday nights with 11 teams. We're going to start a singles league in the summer, and we're also running a 10-ball singles amateur pool league on Tuesdays with the Open Pro rules.
Now, if that's not a busy schedule, I don't know what is. You know, I think I have a busy schedule, and I got to run out every weekend and run down here and run down there. But when I start thinking about Tony's schedule, that's like, hey, it's a drop in the bucket for me, man.
Yeah.
Is that Troy O'Brien?
Well, you can ask, is that Troy?
Yeah, I think it is Troy, New Jersey pool player, right? But thank you for your kind words. I really do appreciate it. But getting back to the match, I believe that Ron is up 3-2 after that miss on the 9-ball by Tony, correct?
Correct. 3-2, bring you right up to date. Iggy's going to use the 4 to draw off the 4, but right into the side pocket he went. Okay, Tony will be right back. He had to step out for a second. He's got to tend to some business on the chart. And he'll be right back, guys. Oh, Tony did a demonstration in the booth. You know, we were so busy down there. And I don't know if my mind was working well when I was down at SB because we've been up so many hours, Jameson. You know how it was. But I'll tell you what, you catered to the young folks. There was a lot of kids that stopped by that booth, and Tom Kennedy was in the booth and playing with the youngsters. Not only that, there was kind of a rule set up at the Pig Pen. It was called, the booth's name was the Pig Pen. And there was kind of a rule where the youngsters were allowed to challenge the pros, but they were only allowed to come back like every half hour. So if you played a match against a pro, you come back every half hour. But when Tommy Kennedy was up at the table. He was telling the youngsters, hey, you don't have to go nowhere. Come on, we'll play a rematch. Play another game. Tom Kennedy just loved it. If you ever get a chance to meet Tom Kennedy, I mean, he's really solid gold. Really nice guy. So we had a lot of fun at SBE. Just about every pro player did stop in that booth. And we're looking forward to doing that again next year if we can, God willing, as we watch Ron Mason approach this 8-ball. And man, did he stroke it. But he's got to watch that corner, the way that 8-ball is traveling. He might become pocket safe. No, he's okay. So Ron Mason opening up his stroke right there. And not only opening up his stroke, he's extending his lead now 4-2 over Tony Iggy. New Jersey pool player Tony will be right back. He had to step out and attend to some business with the tournament chart. I'd like to give a big shout out and say thank you to Lacassi Hybrid Cues, Lacassi Custom Cues. Make sure to pay him a visit. And I'll tell you what, this tour wouldn't be possible without Predator. Predator backing Tony 110%, making this tour possible, and what a tour this turned into. There's a lot of players that come out to play on this tour. If you get a chance and you're in the metro area, hook up. Ron Mason taking no time as the 7 finds its way into the right-hand corner. And the 1 ball does dress up quite a bit. It's a makeable shot. Jamison knew. If you remind Tony about the booth, he will have a picture of me in his mind, Al. Listen, anybody that takes a picture with you, Jamison, can't forget it. Jamison knew. One of the hardest working people out there to promote pool, traveling east to west coast. Hey, Turbo Draw. There you are. I was wondering where you are. You might have been here for an hour or so. Sometimes I glance down and see it. Welcome aboard, sir. And good evening. All right, Ron Mason decides to take a break, so we're going to gear up and put the flaps down, and let's hightail it over to this table. Well, there's nothing going on there. So let's go over to the other tables. And, of course, we got tables being played right down the row. You could see, you could barely make it out, but that whole staging area on the top is filled with people. And I've seen something for the first time since I've been at Q Bar, and I've been here a couple of times already. In the right-hand corner, way down there in the right-hand corner, you can't really see it because it's on the other side of the wall. It's not a straight wall. It actually goes in another 50 feet. There's an open fireplace. They got a fire going back in there. Beautiful. Real comfortable atmosphere. Real good equipment. You can see the Simonas banners, Aramith. On another table there, an Ozone. We're trying to promote as much as we can. This is our featured table. Ron Mason, I believe, took a break, or was it Tony Iggy? I'm not sure, but nevertheless, we're on break. Now, since I panned over that way, this whole room is buzzing. You can see people standing way back in the corner. And you got players playing back here on tables. Very welcome, Mark, in New York City. I hope you guys can see the banner in the background. That's Aramith, the true Belgian billiard balls. Make sure to stop by SimonisCloth.com. And if you can, it's only a few seconds. That's all it's going to take. And just, they have a contact button like any other website. And you can send them an email and say thank you for supporting live stream and Upstate Al and AZBtv. And we hope that we can keep this going. Yeah, the banners are back there. I could actually zoom in on them, but then I got to do a couple other things with the cameras. I'm looking for remotes for them so I can zoom in and zoom out from the booth. No, these are Brunswick tables. They're not candies. They're all Brunswick. Waiting on the return. I believe the players have a 5-minute break. All right. You can hear me.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, sir.
They can't hear you, but you can hear me.
Okay.
Unless you push that red button, then everybody can hear you. My brother Mark standing by, listening to us. Anytime you want, you can push that button.
What's the score here, Paul?
What's the score? Let's bring this up to date. Try it now, Tone.
What's the score? What's the score here?
I don't hear you.
I don't hear him.
Try it now, Tone.
What's the score here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now my brother is on. Tony's off. All right, I can leave you on, Mark. Right there, or that's you. You can still hear me, Tony?
Yes, sir.
All right, it's all stations go, and the shuttle's about to take off. The score is 4-2. And this is Tony Iggy up at the table.
And he's down by the score of 4-2. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Ron Mason is in the lead 4-2. He's got a long shot on the 1. He's going to try to maybe roll it in if he has the corner. Just let. Oh, he played the combination into the 3, and he might.
Yeah, I think he was trying to cut it off the 3 or just either straight in or off the 3.
I'll tell you what, it worked out for him. Does Ron jump?
Yeah, from here, he can't see enough of the ball to cut it in.
Okay.
Unless he massays it a bit. You know, he can see enough to bank it, 1 rail, and come off the 3. It doesn't appear that way from this angle, but I'm looking dead at the shot. He can definitely see enough to hit it that side.
Just got to control the cue ball here.
Yep.
You don't want to let it get away. If he lets it get away, he can go in a drink or just tap the 2.
He elected to play the safe, which is not bad. It's not a bad choice.
Right. Got lucky, but he's going to be behind the 2 ball here. If you're Tony Iggy, you're just going to bank the 1 back down table and try to put the rock behind the 2, no?
And left-handed.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that's what
you need
happens
to hit
when
it
you
a little lower, yeah.
You don't practice lefty, that's what happens.
Yeah, I recently bought the Q extension. I've been wanting to get one for years, but I never had a case where I could fit it in. I wasn't crazy about the idea of just hooking it up to the outside of the case, but I finally have a case that
So you're talking about the tube?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep. And it is awesome.
You like it, huh? Johnny
Love
Archer
it.
uses it a
Yeah.
lot.
I don't blame him.
But now, it's, you know, Mike Webb used to make, remember the extension unscrews and just comes out? The
Yes.
Unilock extension? He used to make that, and I actually seen Bogey using something like that. I find it a little more comfortable. I got nothing against the tube. I really never tried it.
Yeah, the only thing is that with the tube, you can make the Q stick actually longer.
Right.
Where you can only make it so long with the, if you have it hooked up to the bottom of your Q. So I love the fact that I can reach almost all the way to the bottom of the table with the plastic. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty neat.
But it's got to feel kind of weird because it's the diameter of it. You know, it's like a thicker diameter.
Oh yeah. The first time I used it, I accidentally hit the cue ball. But it was practice though. It wasn't in a match. I always make sure anytime I try something new, I practice with it first. Yeah.
Even in a match, you make a mistake every once in a while. Yeah, we can't sit here and say you never made a mistake in a match.
Oh.
Have you ever shot the wrong ball?
I'm like
on
Earl.
accidentally on purpose?
Earl Strickland claimed he never missed a ball. That was his fault.
That's right. That's right. And he's got a good point. You know, it's a table.
Yeah.
He's absolutely right. You know, Earl's a rocket scientist. He started using an extended cue stick that's like 71 inches long, Lucasi made for him, customized. Next thing you know, you got all these extensions being made for the midway joints between the butt and the shaft. As Ron Mason approaches closer to the hill, he's now at 5. Next thing you know, you got all these players starting to experiment with all these different extensions.
Yeah, the one that they put in the center of the cue, I really didn't understand what the concept behind that was until Jason Shaw explained to me that it just sends the cue ball in a straighter line, whatever that meant.
Balance.
And I tried it. It was actually pretty good. I was able to pocket shooting.
A longer shot, you mean?
Well, shooting shots with the cue elevated those have always been my favorite shots. I love, elevating the cue and, drawing the length of the table. But I noticed that with the extension that you put in between the shaft and the butt of the cue, it does make it a little easier.
Because of the weight?
That's what Jason said. Yep. Which explains the reason why Earl's using a longer cue nowadays. Right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know what his concept was from the get-go, so I can't really say.
Well, I mean, listen, the bottom line is I tell people this whenever someone's coming out with a new gadget. I said when Mosconi played back in the days and he ran 150 to 200 balls and out almost every exhibition that he did.
Isn't that something?
He didn't use a special cue, a special chalk, piece of chalk or anything. He just played with whatever he played with, and that was it. That was the bottom line. He just put in the time, and that's why he was able to play the way he played.
So with all these tools coming up, I mean, we got so many different kind of gadgets, and the market's open for people making all different kind of tools. racks and, you know.
Well, some of the stuff actually works, believe it or not. It makes the game easier, and I think that that's what the goal is. But it's still, the bottom line, in my opinion, is still you need to work very hard on your game if you want to get to that upper echelon level.
Well, Earl puts a lot of time in. You know, we're talking about Earl here, and it just seems that, you know, when he comes out with contraptions, it goes viral after a while. It might take a little while, but it goes viral. I can see people wearing hockey gear. I mean, Earl's out there with arm pads, and he's got special gloves.
Magic Scotty here said Mosconi used a 58-inch cue, 20 ounce, and he was about 5'9".
Wow.
Yep.
So, you know, that was considered a long cue for him.
Yeah.
You know.
But see, what Jameson wrote here is true, what I was just saying. You only get whatever you put into it. That's the bottom line. You know, you can have all the advanced technology in the world. It's not going to mean a thing if you're not putting in the time.
Well, Jameson knew, let me tell you, you can ask Jameson knew anything about Willie Mosconi, and he will fill you in on it to the T. Jameson does his homework, I can tell you that much. I had the opportunity to hanging out with him at SBE, and we were down there for whatever it was, 3 or 4 days, and we stayed down there in Edison. Travels the country, that guy. I got to give him credit. I'm telling you, Tony.
Oh yeah.
You know, he travels, man. You know, when you're on the road for a month at a time, 2 months, like this guy travels to promote pool.
Wow, look at that cut shot that Ron just hit Tony with. Still not out of the woods yet, though, because the 5-ball's in a pretty bad spot.
Well, he's going to try to come off the 8, isn't he, and just roll down? Oh, he's ducking.
That's a very smart shot because I call that the killing 2 birds with 1 stone shot.
It is.
He didn't hide him behind the 8, but if he would have banked the 3 rails and break the 5 and the 7 up in the process while hiding the cue ball, then he's killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yes.
And the good thing about that is that even it's in a way it's a killing 3 birds with 1 stone shot, and I'm going to tell you why.
Oh,
number
now
one,
we got 3 birds.
Number one,
and a partridge.
If you leave and a partridge in a pear tree, right? If you leave the cue ball behind, he's stuck. If you break it up, break the 5-7 with the 4, then screwed. But if you don't break it up and you leave him behind, the fact that you left the 4 near that and he has to kick in that area, if he doesn't hit the 4, there's a chance he has. You know, so that's the killing 3 birds with 1 stone shot.
There you go, folks. Start it out. Go viral. 3 birds.
Ooh, he overhit that pretty badly there.
Well, he's got the shot still. He just accept the shot. Natural position. Don't do anything crazy. Just go up table.
Oh, he's really slicing them in today, huh? He seems comfortable.
You know, I called him outside. He said his back was hurting. He said, but I'm shooting good. He said, I'm shooting good. Maybe he ought to sleep in the same position he slept in last night and kick his back up every tournament because he's been making balls.
Yeah. Yeah, he told me that he just got to the point where he just decided to stop thinking and just let it all go. And that will make a difference in your game because at some point you have to learn how to trust in your ability after putting so much time in the game. If you're playing 20 years and you're still wondering how to aim a ball that you probably pocketed 10,000 times and you're not ready to win.
Right, right. Yeah, you got to have confidence in yourself.
You have to be able to get to the point where you learn how to trust your ability.
And it's a nice feeling when it works that way, too.
Oh, yeah. See, he kind of got out of line there pretty badly. Got away with it there, too. Tony's going to have to come up with a pretty good save unless he decides to shoot a stop shot and bank the 8-ball one rail to the side pocket, but hit it at a speed where if he misses it, he leaves him a long shot.
Yeah,
but he'd rather probably hit it thin and let Ron deal with it.
I like that shot better. I like banking the 8 back up to the other short rail and leaving the cue ball there, put some distance between it.
See, the thing is that he's having a tough time reaching it, so he wants to make sure he doesn't end up hitting it too thick because of the fact that he's having a difficult time reaching it. You see that? Look. See, not only did he hit it too thick, but he also scratched. See, I'd rather take the bridge or use my newfound extension. Right? Yeah. Play the safe over there.
Well, he got down and one-stroked it, too. He took his time submising what he wanted to do. Then he just got down and one-stroked it and didn't even think about the speed. There's nothing wrong with that.
Did you hear Ron? He said, come on, Ron, hit the ball.
Yeah,
it's like I said, these tables are running very, very slow. Oh, he's on the hill now. He's on a row. But
We
these
got the
tables are
table
running very
wired with a
slow.
microphone so you can hear Ron saying, come on. He might have been saying, come on, let's just get this over with. He's out there. Look at him. He's racking the balls like a beaver, chopping down some kind of bush.
But once again, I want to thank everyone for joining us, and I want to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, Ozone Billiards. They just came on board. Again, we're happy to have them back. And Delta 13 NYC Grind, Poison by Predator, Billiards Digest, Master Chalk.
Back to the live act. A lot of sponsors to thank, absolutely. And, of course, Predator.
Predator Cues, we couldn't do it without them. Hey, my sweet love is online. I don't know if you heard my comment earlier, sweetheart, but I was telling everyone that today is our 6-month anniversary. We got married on October 12th last year, so
And I
love you
also
very,
got-
very dearly.
I also got wired that you guys are just about ready to take off on your honeymoon and go
Yep.
to Europe or something? Or
We're leaving next week to our honeymoon. It's going to be a 3-week trip, and we're going to go to Istanbul, Turkey, Mykonos, Greece. We're going to go to Barcelona, Spain, Paris, France, and I believe Rome and Venice in Italy, as well as a couple of other cities in
Nice,
those countries.
nice.
So, and I've never been to any of these places, so I'm super excited.
Well, I have. I've been out to Barcelona. I tell you, you're going to see some really historical architectural work that they have out there.
And Robert Campbell, I appreciate your comment, and we're happy to do this. But the guy you really need to thank is Al. Al's the one that's willing to take the trip up here and you know, stream these matches and bring the events to you. So we're very lucky to.
Well, it's a
have the
team effort.
opportunity.
You know, we go back to that we, you know, because without all of us getting involved, we're not going to bring pool back into the limelight.
Yeah.
So we're trying. And just, you know, with these guys sharing the hey, look, Ron Park.
Come on, Ron. Come on. What are you doing on the stream, Ron? Come on. We're
We
always
miss
joking
him.
around.
We
We're always
miss him
joking
up here.
around.
I tell you, remember he used to come all to the Amsterdam events? I remember Ron when he was up in New York. He turned me on to that Harold's. Oh, man, Ron,
Yeah.
what a place that was. We had like the $25 sandwich between three of us, Ralph Souquet, myself, and Devil Dave, and we had leftovers.
Thank you, Magic Scotty. I appreciate it. And it's true what G Squared said. Ronnie, three's a crowd, buddy. I love you to pieces, but sorry. Not happening.
Yes, the main man behind the scenes right now is CMB WSU, Bob. Always doing hard work. It's been up probably all night.
And I'm not going to bring my cue to the honeymoon. I know New Jersey pool players asking me.
They can shoot off the wall.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny that she says that because I think it was about a week ago. Darren Appleton put his schedule out there, what he was going to do. And Angie says, gee whiz, she says, with your busy schedule, she says, don't forget we're getting married. Are you going to be there for our wedding?
That's
he's
very
busy.
good.
He's busy, man. He's a very busy character.
Look what Gail wrote.
Yes.
Wow, that was a good save that Ronnie played.
So we got Gail in the chat, and we got CMB WSU. I hope you guys can straighten out that Facebook issue because Bob's been nagging me about it. And I speak to Bob every night and every day. If not, put him in the corner, Gail.
I know someone else said they had set their date for the wedding for October 12th on Columbus Day, so he wouldn't forget the anniversary. I decided to get married on the 12th because it's my son Jonathan's birthday, and then on October 13th is Gail and I's anniversary. We first got together.
Right.
So it's there's no way I could ever forget any
Cool.
of that. So.
Well, you wouldn't forget anyway, even if it was on the 19th.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't forget.
I had to get Tony out of that one, boy.
So who you got tonight, Manny Pacquiao or Timothy Bradley?
I like Manny, man. I tell you, they're going at it tonight.
They're going to go at it for sure, and I think if worst came to worst, Manny has the power to knock him out, but I really respect Timothy Bradley's fighting ability. He's one hell of a fighter.
Well,
But,
yeah, to get to the level that they're out, they have to be.
It's just hard for me to ever root against Manny. I just can't.
All right, Ron's on the hill, and Ron's up at the table. Does he get aggressive and bank this ball if he's got the right angle or cut it in?
Or slice it in, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. He thinks he lives in Kentucky, but the bank don't go. I'll tell you, they're playing some big bank pool down there in Kentucky,
Yeah,
man. Wow,
that's what I hear.
Ooh, I see some of those prices they're playing for. It's unbelievable.
Well, Tony should be out from here. But look at that. Look at that. 50-yard line because he's expecting the ball to run more. Remember I told you the table's slow? But I love it when it's slow because you can let your stroke go.
But I noticed a lot of players overrunning. They're
It's a good
overrunning
shot.
their position, yeah. The best he's going to do is just accept it, right? Now, if he tries to really jam this and draw it back, he could wind up spitting this 8-ball right back out. He's going to be careful, just like that.
There you go.
Yep.
Wow.
Look at that.
Okay, now the pogo stick has to come out on this shot.
Yeah.
We're going to get the other angles because I think Ron's going to go to the jump skew.
But isn't that unbelievable, Al? It's how you can miss a ball just right enough to leave it in front of the pocket, but still end up behind the only ball,
I
other
know.
ball on the table.
It's
That's what makes
amazing.
this game so amazing.
It's amazing, man. I agree. Ron's going to jump with his. Does Ron have a jump cue? I would imagine he does. Yeah, I've seen this happen many, many a times where the only 2 balls left on the table and somebody winds up safe behind one of them by chance, you know, or luck, whatever it is, or deliberately played.
Yep.
Ron's thinking about jumping with the full cue.
You know what? I would be surprised if he doesn't have a jump cue. Because it looks like he's trying to kick 3 rails here.
He's kicking 3 rails. Don't get the inside of this 8. You got to get the outside, and never mind.
I'm surprised he did that. If anything, you're better off Matt saying at least trying to make contact with the 8, right?
Yeah, but he's on the hill. He took it for granted. You know? I didn't like that shot because if he catches the inside of the 8, he scratches in the side pocket.
Yep. See, now this is going to cost him 1 more rack.
Oh, I put the score up already. Okay, there's the score. I'm ahead of time, 6-3. Well, once again, we got to go right down the line and thank some of our sponsors here. Of course, AZBilliards.com, the Kings of Vapor, Simona's Cloth, the world's largest cloth supplier. And go to Livestream News on Facebook and elect to join up with Livestream News if you want to know what's going on. We got over 6,100 members. If you don't have access to Facebook, you could always go to Instagram on your smart device and elect to follow us there. We got to get back to the action because Iggy's ready to go.
Yeah, he wasted no time to rack those balls. He wants to get right to it.
6-3, you know, looking at 6-4 now if he can get out of this. You know, Ron should have got the jump cue out or jumped it with a full cue.
Mm-hmm. So New Jersey pool players saying, I'm liking 10-ball Collier shot safeties more and more, and I absolutely love those rules. And gentleman here, I'm trying to figure out how to pronounce that name, but he's asking about the format for the 14.1 league play. I'm actually going to be starting a 14.1 NAPL league.
He's an old Schuler user. Must use a Schuler.
That's what it is, old Schuler user. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm hoping to bring the NAPL to Sydney, Aaron. That would be pretty cool. And we miss you too, buddy.
Iggy's got a wide open table. He's got an opportunity to put another beat up.
Well, you see how the ball slowed down on him? He was trying to get a little straighter on the 3-ball there.
He's got to be real careful here. You know, I like just drawing at one rail, coming back out to the center of the table. I don't like going around the 6 here. Draw it right off one rail and get back out to the center. He went around the 6.
But you see, that one he overhit. I'm actually surprised that ball had enough speed to make it to the pocket.
This is what I'm saying. Look how fast this table's going.
Yeah.
Tony is so seasoned that he looks at the shot, he turns his head, and he's talking about the cue ball going in the hole 3 seconds before it goes in the hole.
You know what it is? You just memorize the speed after a while because you've had it happen to yourself so many times. It's like when I give private lessons, look at this, look. And I knew there was a danger of doing that. But you know that when I give lessons and a player goes ahead and hits the ball, and I said, too hard, and look at me like I'm crazy, and then they realize it was too hard. And I said, how do you know?
Yeah.
Because I've done it wrong so many times.
Sure. Well, talking about lessons, I got to mention Earl Strickland. I happened to be at Steinway just before you got there. I had left about 8:30 last night. I was waiting for the traffic to settle down because I heard Obama was in town. And,
wow, look how he hit that button. Look at this. Look at this. That was for the match.
That's what I'm talking about.
Wow. It wasn't necessary to hit it that hard, but you know, some players feel comfortable shooting certain shots at certain speeds. Like I know players that will shoot that shot soft or hard, feel 100% comfortable, but there are players there that will only feel comfortable hitting it soft or hitting it hard.
Well, there's got to be a happy medium where you're going to be happy with the leftover. But talking about practice and talking about lessons, I seen Earl Strickland giving a lesson last night. I had the opportunity to sweat another one of his. And he was fixing feet. He was fixing feet of the students, the stands. And
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Most people don't realize that when you fail to add a pre-shot routine to your game, if you go into free stroke mode, once you start running around the table, you don't realize that your body is no longer lined up with the table or with the shot if you're going too quickly. And if your body isn't lined up with the shot, the tendency is to have moving parts as you're stroking the ball.
Sure.
So since the body feels like it has to compensate, there's a good chance you're going to move when you're stroking the ball.
You're absolutely
and it's
right.
like if you're pointing a rifle at a target and you start to move your body forward as you're pulling the trigger, you're going to miss a target every single time.
Yeah, well, you know what? Take any sport. Boxers, they stand a certain way. Baseball players, they stand a certain way. It's a routine. It's all muscle memory. You got to get it down packed and practice. And I was just amazed the way Earl was fixing the feet of the student that he was.
You think he's going to go for the 9 ball here?
No. Is he? No, he's cutting this.
Nope. He jumped up on that one. I know that Gail was asking if this was a winner side match. It's actually a one-loss side match.
Dangerous. But he hit it good. You know, Ron can't let Iggy have too much air here. Right now, he's breathing down his neck.
Oh, yeah. Wow, look at that save.
I like it. Two rail kick right out of the corner. Got to stretch over the 7 ball.
Yeah, I mean, I think the 5 ball might be in the way, but from here, from this angle, he might not be able to kick it 1 rail. Not even 2 rails. I think the 5 is blocking him.
No, he's going 3 rails.
But that 8 ball is a big ball, isn't it?
No, it was bigger than what he thought, though. All right, now we might see a 3-9. If Ron can get, isn't that the 2 ball down there by the 7? Yeah. Ron might be thinking about going up and playing the 3. Oh, he's going to elect to play him safe again.
Yeah, because he's figuring, hey, listen, I either have to run out or play it safe. But, I mean, when you have ball in hand here, you have to – I think he might not feel comfortable with the position of the 6 ball.
Well, the 3's not going on the side where the 6 is. He's going to
He's
play.
good. Yeah, that's a better shot because you know what? If he shoots a combo, even if he doesn't make it, there's a good chance. He overhit it a bit. It's not straight. It looks straight in camera, but trust me, the balls are almost parallel to each other.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm used to looking at the monitor. Some shots there take a second look at, but this I could definitely see it.
He just has to make sure that he does, hits it hard enough to where it'll at least stop in front of the 6 or 3 ball. If he overcuts it, or maybe come off the 5 ball or the 4 ball.
And go to the rail.
Depending how thin he comes off the 9, he hit it
Look
great.
at this,
Though.
never
He hit it
mind.
great. Match
Perfect.
over. It was
All
a good
right,
match, guys.
There you got it.
Well, Al, thank you so much for having me
Hey,
again.
Tony, anytime.
It's always
It's
a pleasure. I
Pleasure.
appreciate your
Always.
time and all your work, and it was a pleasure
you.
seeing your brother.
Yeah, my brother's
It's
still
good
sitting
seeing
here.
you. And,
Yeah.
I'll definitely see you guys tomorrow.
Good.
All right?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay,
and
Tony.
thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and hope you get the opportunity to tune in tomorrow as well. Thank you.
There you go. Tony Robles stepping out. All right. Well, guys, as we end this match, we're getting ready to set up another match. So we'd like to run through a whole bunch of the sponsors. Of course, all these sponsors here, Poison by Predator, Master Chalk, NYC Grind, who happens to jump on board with AZ Billiards, Gotham City Technologies, the Tap League in Simonis, Lacassi, and of course it wouldn't be possible without Predator. Predator Q's jumping on board and backing Mr. Tony Robles and his wife in this beautiful tour, and of course Ozone. And I just want you to keep in mind, AccuStats, 15th through the 20th, will be holding this event with these world champions, 4 of them. Make sure to check out AccuStats.com and keep this on your calendar and get in touch with the PredatorProAmTour.com for the contact numbers, and it's the field, which Tony just said was 50% filled already. We're expecting a few hundred players at this event. It'll be held at Steinway, and AZBtv and NYC Grind will be there to live stream that also. So put that on your calendar. Okay, we'll be right back with another match. Stand by, folks.